Now, within our button one click, you see, it's the same as you had in the other class, but since they're independent, that's fine. So what we're now going to do here is I am going to use something called a StreamWriter. It's slightly different to before. I'm going to declare now, for the moment, I'm going to declare this within the private sub rather than declare it within the form itself. That's the reason I'm doing that is just to keep it together to show you how short and quick it can be, even though, as you know, it can cause errors. So declare in memory. Now I'm going to call this my joke file, and that's as. Now this time I'm going to use system.io. So it's slightly different. Remember, we used IO before when we did the using command. Well, this is a different way of doing it, and we're using system.io now rather than the using method. But the reason we're doing this is because we're now going to do a StreamWriter. Now, while I'm at it, can you see StreamReader? There is another way of reading files called StreamReader, but I figured the other method is slightly quicker. So here we're going to use StreamWriter. There we go. Right, so that's all working nicely. We could have placed it up there as well, but I'm just doing it here for the video so it doesn't scroll up and down. Okay, the next one is, now we've done that, I need to go into more depth about this joke file. So joke file, you know, before I go any further, I'm going to keep that as a lowercase j. Okay. Joke file dot oops, not dot, sorry, joke file equals my dot computer dot file system dot open text file writer, open brackets, and now we just put the name of the file. I'll explain these in a moment. So I had mine in the end colon, and I'm just going to quickly check jokes.csv. So now there's one last thing I need to add to this. Comma, this is absolutely critical. Don't leave this last bit out, because if it defaults to false, what will happen is every time you write a joke, it will delete every other joke in the file and it will start from scratch. So we really don't want that. What we want to do is when we're writing to our file, we want to stick it on the end. The technical term is to append the file. So to do that, we use true. Really important that you include this. Otherwise, and definitely, and yeah, the default there we can see is false. If you leave this out, the first thing it will do is delete all your jokes. There we go. So really important. Okay. Right, what we've now done, I'll explain this. Move that out of the way. Okay. First part. So joke file. This is this new kind of system input output StreamWriter. The rest of it's actually quite easy. My referring to the form 2 that's where it's running. I am running on a computer and I want to get at that computer's file system. When I've got at that computer's file system, you know, save, copy, close, all that kind of stuff, I want to go to open text file writer, which is part of the file system, and the file I want to do that to is that file there. Notice I've had to include the .csv here. Okay. And then this last part is, whilst I'm writing to it, I want to stick on the end, which is what the true does. So it's, you can kind of consider that to be to append the file. Yes. Now, last part I need to do is I'll need to go File, oops, sorry, joke file, dot close. Okay. Now, that's really important. It will work if you leave that off, but if you leave that off, you'll only ever be able to write to it the once, and the text file writer, this StreamWriter business, it will keep your connection permanently open to that file, so nobody else will be able to edit it or read it. And if you press the button twice to try and write to it more than once with more jokes, it will error. So it's very important that you put that close down, otherwise it will go badly wrong. Okay, so at the moment it's not going to do much, but we've done the hard part now. That's all the technical side. I'd like you to just kind of move it to there. Whatever you do, don't forget the true or you lose all your jokes. Okay. Add that in to your button one click on form 2. Don't forget, please, form 2. Away you go.